Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us in this video today. We are going to look at how we've enhanced our HR management with our software today. And I'll show you who's going to go through all of this in a minute, but I want to explain to you why we are gathered here today in this amazing video. And that is because we are your partner in compliance. We're all about making HR less of a headache and more of a high five kind of moment. So it's not something that you have to wake up to and dread going into work every day thinking about all of your employee management issues. While we dive into some of the serious tech behind this, we're going to keep things light and we're going to keep it fun. Here's to transforming the daunting world of HR together. And our promise is that we're not just about compliance and forms, we're here to spark joy in HR processes. And to guide you through this, our agenda covers a brief introduction of what we're going over and why we're doing it. We're going to go through some of the features that have changed or been updated. And then we're going to do a deep dive into why we've added these new features. Our clients are the voices and the reason why we make these changes and why we make these updates, why we add new things. And we want to show you where these ideas come from. And then lastly, our host is going to go through these features in action to show you just how easy it is. And I know you've all been waiting for this. This is our host today, Ryann Danna. She is our product specialist here at HR for Health, and she is an HR software expert and a vital member of the HR for Health team. She is skilled at increasing efficiency and effectiveness for our healthcare customers. Her secret weapon is putting our HR software on autopilot so it gets things done for you without you even having to think about it. So with that all being said, I'm going to pass this over to Ryann.
Thank you, Taylor. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am so thrilled to have this opportunity to update you on our latest developments from our product and engineering teams. Over the past several months, we've been diligently working to enhance our software, ensuring it's not only meeting but exceeding expectations of our clients. And now I also understand that HR might not always be the most riveting topic, but with a software designed to keep you compliant, equipped with essential tools, and simplifying the HR process, it's hard not to spark a little excitement. So how do we decide which features to prioritize or improve upon? Well, it's a bit of a multifaceted process. We analyze product usage data, conduct market research, but most importantly, we listen to you, our valued clients. Unlike some companies, we're open to suggestions and feedback, and we're actively incorporating them into our decision making. And so today, we are very thrilled to showcase some of those recent enhancements we've made and unveil a significant feature we've been working diligently on. So let's dive in and explore. So the first thing I want to go over is a feature called our PTO report, so our time off report. Why did we choose to introduce this feature? The decision was driven by numerous requests from our clients who expressed a common need, the need to see PTO in one place. So we did actually get this feedback. This is going to be from a client specifically. They said, I would like a report that shows all remaining hours for each employee at the end of the year so we know what to roll over. Currently, we have to look at each employee separately, and it would be more efficient to be able to look at them all in one place. So we do have in our system, just to back up a little bit, we do have a way for our system to tell you when it's time to roll over those hours. And you can easily do that in the system, but seeing that PTO in one place, we did not have. You would have to go to each individual employee. So this feature is going to help that. So this feature proves particularly valuable for those seeking visibility into remaining time off balances, time off taken, or instances where time off wasn't charged to a designated time off bank. The report facilitates swift audits across all employees and time off banks, offering insights into various categories of leave such as sick and vacation. The ability to identify time off taken without being deducted from a specific benefit bank is especially crucial. Oftentimes, managers and employers approve time off requests as paid, but overlook selecting a time off bank, which inadvertently is granting employees free hours. For those utilizing HR for Health, our time off tracking, conducting a quick audit of the PTO report, and this section is recommended just to ensure accuracy of data and know that there is a simple way to do this with this report. So just going back, even if you are using our system, to make sure that you've charged those to the correct banks. Additionally, this report can be a resource for businesses operating in states requiring PTO reporting on employee pay stubs. It streamlines the process of gathering those remaining time off balances so that you can provide those to your payroll processors. And we even have an option for you to download a PDF file for those balances. For clients who are using our integrated payroll processor, we handle this aspect for you, so there's no additional work needed on your end. The next feature that we have improvements on are our alerts. At HR for Health, our mission is to simplify the HR process and empower you to navigate that process easily. We understand the importance of staying on top of essential documents, which is why we've implemented an alert system for authorized users. Now, when an employee completes vital forms like their W-4, which is their tax withholding form, their I-9, which basically states that they're eligible to work in the United States, and their arbitration of disputes form, you'll receive a prompt notification directly on your dashboard. This alert system ensures that employers and office managers stay informed in real time, eliminating the need to manually check for form completions. With just a glance at your dashboard, you'll know when to review and act upon newly submitted documents from your employees, and simply select the alert to be directed to the employee's new hire checklist where you can review it and fulfill any responsibilities that are on your end. With this enhancement, we're helping you simplify the workflow and remove any unnecessary burdens. It's just one less thing you have to remember to revisit, allowing you to focus on what matters, which is you building your successful team and business. All right, next we have our employee scheduler. So the employee scheduler marks an exciting addition to HR for Health, having been launched in January. This innovative feature was born out of direct feedback from our clients who express a pressing need for a centralized solution for managing their employee schedules. Gone are the days of spreadsheets, paper calendars, endless group texts, which was really the theme that we heard from our clients. With the employee scheduler, you can add shifts with ease. We pre-populate the employee's positions and locations if you have locations turned on. And we have added improvements when creating a shift where you can copy that shift to multiple days of the week, which helps streamline the process. We have also added an ability to add unpaid meal breaks and paid rest breaks. This way your employee knows when they should be taking those breaks, which as an employer, you are responsible for letting them know they have the right to an unpaid meal break and paid rest break, if you are in a state that requires that. A big pain point is scheduling employees when they are scheduled to take PTO, or maybe scheduling somebody who is already scheduled, maybe at a different location, or forgetting the day that you are scheduling is an observed holiday. So this is no longer an issue, as the scheduler alerts you to any conflicts when scheduling and any conflicts that may arise when your team adds in time off. So you can be on top of it. It also gives you easy insight into coverage gaps so you can ensure that your schedule is stacked correctly. If there are any conflicts, we have an easy way for you to drag and drop that shift to an employee who is available, or you can drag it and drop it into an open shift area. Open shifts are visible to you and your team, so you can see it and pick it up, which saves you time instead of needing to call or text employees for coverage. They can just access that schedule, see that there's an open shift, and be like, yep, I want that one. We have included filtering options as well in case you want to see specific employees, a certain position or event or location. There is also a filter to see only your team, which is really nice if you are a supervisor and you may only need 5 of those people. A few improvements we've made to this filters is being able to see conflicts only, which will allow you to take care of them swiftly. And we've also added open shifts to our employee drop-down menu, which is helpful if you are copying shifts into future weeks. You probably don't want to copy all of those open shifts over, so you can filter that out and you're able to copy it. Which brings me to my next point. You can also copy the schedule out to future weeks, up to 8 weeks. Once you've copied it out to that 8th week, you can actually go to that 8th week in the schedule and copy it out further in case you're, an office that likes to have your schedule 6 months in advance. Now, the next two features within the scheduler are two of the most important and are super useful for those who may think they do not need a schedule because, maybe you have the same schedules from week to week, or maybe your, office is a little bit smaller. These features are the visibility to time off and easy access to manage that time off, and the ability to track attendance and tardiness based on scheduled shifts. So if you are an office who has a first come, first served policy for taking time off, um, the employee scheduler allows the employees to view other schedules and when they are taking time off to ensure that they are not requesting days that someone else already requested. And I do want to clarify this a little bit because there has been some confusion. They can see that the employee is scheduled for time off, but they cannot see the reason why. Same with shift notes. If there's a note on a shift, other employees cannot see what that note says. So it is hidden in that way. Only the employee has access to see why they're taking that time off, if it's bereavement or sick leave, or they have a doctor's appointment, but the other employees do not see that. They just see that they're taking time off. So a little clarification there. And then they can also access the schedule from anywhere, which is great because they are likely not in office when planning vacations, and they can access it from their phone. So usually if they're talking with friends, they're like, yeah, I need that day off. We want to go on vacation. They're probably not going to be doing that in office. You as the employer or manager can also see time off, and you can approve the time off straight from the scheduler. So it does allow you one place to view all of the time off requests instead of having to go into each individual employee. You can kind of see it on that schedule. Now, if you are not convinced that this feature is great and it's for you, then maybe this will. You can now track attendance based on your employee scheduled shifts. This means that tracking tardiness and no-shows and employees who are clocking in and out too early, costing you money, is now a lot easier. So tracking on a scheduled shift is always better because it allows schedules to be flexible and allows more accurate tracking. So for example, if you were previously using our tardiness feature, you would have to input your employee's basic schedule. And if it was changing, every week, you were not able to do that. It was just a basic schedule, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. If the employee had to deviate from that schedule for a doctor appointment in the morning, they would be marked as tardy if they clocked in later. But with the scheduler, they can add a partial time off in the morning, and then you can add their shift after that appointment, and no tardy would be logged unless they showed up late to that specific time. Additionally, no-shows is a new concept. If an employee does not clock in by a time that you specify, they will be marked as a no-show. And really why this is important is because it provides you an extra layer of documentation, and having that documentation can help protect you in the event that the employee needs to be terminated in the future. It's also not an emotional thing. It's either they were tardy or they weren't tardy, and the software is tracking that for you, so there's no extra work really needed on your end. It's doing the work for you. Lastly, a huge improvement that we've made to the employee scheduler is our month view and our day view. Month view allows you to see from a high level who is scheduled and who is taking time off. And day view allows you to see a breakdown of your employee's day hour by hour. So this is really helpful because it'll help you see when your employee is starting, when they're taking their meal breaks, when they're going to be off. This also helps you see coverage for each position for specific times. So if you need coverage from 9 to 5 for 4 hygienists, you could easily use our position filter to easily see if there's any overlaps or any gaps for that team. All right, so enough about me talking. I'm sure that you want to hop into the software and actually see this in action. If you've never seen the employee scheduler, this will help familiarize you with it. And if you have seen it, hopefully this answers your questions and gets you comfortable with transferring your team over to the schedule. So let me get into our software here. All right. Okay, so here we are logged into HR for Health. This is the home dashboard. Usually this is what your authorized users or managers will see. They have this management menu on the left-hand side, and then an employee menu at the bottom. For the schedule feature, you would go to management schedule, or you can click the schedule icon in the top right corner, which is my preference. It's really easy to get to. Once on the schedule page, you're brought to the week view. It's going to default to the week view, but you can see that we've added the day and month view. So if you did want to switch to more of a high level view or more of a specific view, you can do so. For month view, it's going to show more of that high level. So usually, again, you'll see this, or maybe you want to use this for time off. I can see here that Thomas has time off and Porter has time off. You'll notice that if the days are in the past, it will show it grayed out, but you can actually still click that information. So if I really wanted to see a specific shift, I can do that and I can edit it, delete it, whatever I needed to do to that shift. If there's multiple events or multiple employees scheduled, it's only going to show so many. So if you wanted to see everyone, you can click on the more event option. Also, something really cool about this view is that if you did want to switch to a day view instead, you can actually click on the day itself and it will bring you to that view. So for day view, you have the times at the top, you have the employees' names on the left, and you can really see that breakdown of the shift. So you can see the meal break, you can hover over the little icon to get more information, and then any time off would look like this. So if they had time off for the whole day, if it was just for an hour, it would show up in this one little box. And then if I want to, I can also get to day view from week view by clicking the date here. So that will take me back to the day view. All right, perfect. So next, let's go over the filtering options. So you have options to filter by employee, but if you are a manager and you just want to see those that you supervise, you can click this button that says show only my team. That will take out those open shifts, so keep that in mind. You have a position filter. So something to keep in mind here is you want to make sure that your team is assigned to the updated and appropriate positions or job descriptions. So if your job descriptions are not up to date, I highly recommend going to the job description section, which is under documents, and then selecting job descriptions and assigning your team to the appropriate one, especially if it's been a couple years. You just want to make sure that if they've changed position that you've assigned it. Next, you have your event filter. So you can filter by shifts, filter by time off. So if I just want to see time off, and also filter by conflicts, which is new. This is going to be really helpful in case you do just want to see where the scheduled conflicts are so you can resolve those quickly and swiftly. All right, and then if you have location set up in HR for Health, you can use this location filter. If you don't have location set up and you are a multi-location account, please feel free to reach out to our support team and they can help you get those set up. So here I have location A, B, and C, and I also have a training right here. But if I did want to filter to just see location A, I can go ahead and select it. Location A will be in color, and then any other location will gray out. So I can see that we have location A and location B on here. Again, if I want to switch to just location B, I can do so. And something to take note of is if you are filtering by location in month view, instead of graying out, it really just shows that one location. So depending on your preference. All right, let's go back to week view. We went through our filters. So the next thing I want to go over is actually creating that schedule. And I know it can seem daunting or kind of scary because it's new and you don't know what's going to happen. But keep in mind, as you're building out that schedule, the shifts will not be published. So you do have to publish it in order for your team members to see it, which kind of helps you. It gives you a little bit of leeway, and if you make a mistake, you're okay because your team is not notified until after you publish. So to create a shift, you would just hover over the date for that employee. So for example, Anita, I would hover over Monday, click add shift. A lot of the information is going to pre-populate. So the name, the date, the time, I can change it though. So for here, I do have the option to copy the shift to multiple days, which is really helpful. So I'm going to say, yes, let's copy it Monday Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is also super helpful if you are a office that has the same shifts from week to week. We get that maybe you might not want to take time to schedule it, but this actually helps you do that. It is super, super quick. And once you do create that schedule, even if it's the same from week to week, you would just copy it over to the additional weeks. So a lot less work on your end. And remember, we have that tardiness and no-show tracking that this will help with. So even if your schedules are the same, it's good to have this for that. And then same for meal breaks. So I can add in here an unpaid meal break. So I'm going to say 30 minutes. And I'm going to say they should take it at 12. It's going to pre-populate from 12 to 12:30 based on that time. And then I can add paid rest breaks. And this, again, is really good for documentation, showing that you've offered that break to your employee. Whether or not they take it is kind of out of your hands, but you're telling them like, hey, you're entitled to this, which is really good for you and for documentation purposes. Next, you have your position. This will default to their specific position, but maybe your hygienist is covering for your dental assistant or your admin assistant. If you're a smaller office, you can switch that. And then you can also switch the location. It will default to what we call your employee's base location, which you set up kind of at the beginning of your onboarding. But if you did need to change it for whatever reason, you can. And then you have shift notes. So this is anything that you want to tell to the employee, like don't forget to take out the trash or make sure to clean up your station, or hey, we have a meeting or a lunch and learn. You can add that to the shift notes. And remember, only the employee can see that, not other employees. So anything that you say to this employee, the other employees will not know unless your employee, of course, shares it with them. But they will not be able to go to their schedule and see it. And then once you're ready, you can go ahead and click add. And here I have the shifts scheduled. What's also nice is I can see the scheduled hours. So scheduled hours are going to show how many hours that employee is scheduled minus their meal breaks. And this is super helpful, especially if you have, employees that go into a lot of overtime and you're trying to avoid that. You can see right here how much you're scheduling them. So if you're getting close to that 40 hours, maybe you can avoid that or, schedule somebody else. But that should help you a lot. And then when you're looking at the schedule, here is where we have those conflicts. So if there is a conflict, of course, it's going to show up here. I can see that Porter has requested time off for these 3 days. And if I wanted to, I can drag and drop this to the open shifts. Now, once I publish this schedule, employees can go to the schedule and they'll see that this is an open shift that needs to be picked up. I can also manage time off from the schedule. So I can see here that Thomas has requested time off. I can click manage and I can go ahead and approve this request from here. All right, and once I'm ready to publish my schedule, I can actually click the publish button here. And it will tell me who I'm publishing for. This is super important to look out for because if you have used the filtering options, if I was to filter out some of these employees, let me just show you. Deselect, I'm just gonna choose these two and click publish. I will only be publishing for these two employees. So just keep that in mind just in case if you have filtered out, that may affect who you're actually publishing for. So when I'm ready, I can click publish. All right, and then it gives me the option to copy that schedule over. So if you do have that schedule that's same from week to week, you can go ahead and click copy and you can copy out up to 8 weeks. But if I did want to copy farther, all I would need to do is go to June 16th that week, and then I can copy again another 8 weeks. All right, and so now it's going to go ahead and copy. So we got it all the way out for those 8 weeks. All right, the next thing that we'll go over is and it took me to, let's go to our settings. Okay, so our settings is where we're going to set up our attendance tracking. So our tardiness and no-shows. So we can turn this toggle on to base data tracking on scheduled shifts. We can then turn on our tardiness tracking. You have the option to add in a grace period. So what that means is If you give a 5-minute grace period, your employee would be not marked as tardy until they're past that 5-minute mark. So if they're scheduled for 8 a.m. and they don't show up until 8:06, they'd be marked as tardy. If they show up at 8:05 on the dot, so not 8:05 in 5 seconds, but 8:05 on the dot, they would not be marked as tardy, or 8:04 not marked as tardy. We have no-shows, which again is that new concept, good for documentation, that if they do not show up within 1 hour, they will be marked as a no-show. So it's kind of like a no call, like they didn't call in, they just didn't decide to show up for a full hour. You can go ahead and specify your time. And this is really good, just so you know. I know, typically you're busy during the day, so you don't have time to keep track of it, and this will help you keep track of that. You also have a manager for notifications, so you can get email notifications when tardy, but if you're like, nah, I don't need an email, you can turn that off. You still get the alert in the software. You can also do that for no-shows. And then you can turn on an email notification if your employees are clocking in too early. This also helps with overtime. So if you are an office where your employees are clocking in 15 minutes early and they're constantly going into overtime, this will help you keep track of that. So you can say, please notify me if they're clocking in more than 5 minutes early. And then you will get an email so that you can then talk to that employee and remind them, hey, please do not clock in until 7:55 if you're starting at 8. And then you can assign to your employees. We typically recommend assigning to all employees. That way, when you have a new hire come on board, they will automatically be assigned to those tardiness settings and attendance settings. All right, so we're next going to go over that PTO report and where to find it. So if you are using HR for Health for PTO tracking or time off tracking, which we highly recommend, obviously, having it all in one place, you can find that time off report by going to Reports, under Documents, and then selecting the time off report under Attendance Reports. Here you can get to last names by quick links, but you can see the employee's name. You can see all of the time off banks that they're assigned to in their benefit range. Here you can see their available time off, any time off that was taken, and any time off that is not charged to a bank that is paid. This is where you can do that auditing. So here, Anita has had 36 hours that were paid to her that were not charged to a time off bank. So I would probably want to take a look at that to see why and then maybe fix it. I also have that option to view as a PDF. So if I did want to send those balances to a payroll company so that they can report them on a pay stub, I have that option. All right, and then the last thing we have is our alerts. So that alert for when an employee has completed one of those important documents like the I-9, the W-4, or the arbitration of disputes, anytime they finish it, the authorized user would get an alert on their document to-dos letting them know. So here I can see that Ryann Danna has completed 2 new documents and I need to complete my portion. When I click on it, it will take me to that employee's new hire checklist where I can view the documents. And if I go down to the arbitration form, I can see that it's pending completion, which means that I, as the authorized user, need to complete my portion. Once I do, I can click these 3 dots and then I can go ahead and mark it off as complete. So again, just kind of taking the thought process out of it for you and telling you what you need to do. So it's one less thing that you need to remember. All right, let's get back to our slide and I will kick it back to Taylor.
Thank you, Ryan. And today we're going to finish out this video by letting you know that HR is complex, but we make it easy. Our goal at HR for Health is to prevent you from having to deal with these pitfalls from arising by walking you through the proper steps to manage your HR compliance needs. We've heard it all. We've heard about employees that are consistently late and some non-compliance with I-9 processing. There's nothing that'll scare us and there's nothing that we can't tackle for you. We help you through some HR advising, having employee handbooks, keeping you on track with wage and hours, and everything that's included in HR, we've got you covered with it. And so if you want to learn more and you don't have our software for some crazy reason, that's okay, because you can scan this QR code on your screen and book time with our team to get a sense of what it'll look like for you to use the system on a regular basis. We'll tailor it to your needs and answer any questions that you could possibly have. So thank you everyone for watching today's video. We're so excited to hear from you. Any question is a great question. You can send it to hello@hrforhealth.com, and you can visit our website at any time to view all of our features and products that we have. Thank you, Ryann, and we look forward to hearing from you all soon.
Thank you.